Hello, it's Sophia the therapist, and this is week 8, day 3 of my 9-week challenge. And I was listening to a woman today named Tabitha Brown, and she was being interviewed and talked about how important it is to be consistent. You know, I thank God for this 9-week challenge because the one thing that it required me to do was be consistent for 9 weeks. Be consistent. So, one of my friends said, well, why don't we see your face on some of the videos? Why is it just a picture? Why is it just a black screen? And, because I'm trying to be consistent. And that means all the time I'm not ready to be on camera. I'm not prepared to be filmed, but I still need to do these videos and be consistent. So for me, my consistency has to be for 9 weeks. But for a lot of us, when you're trying to make changes in yourself or changes in your relationship, your consistency has to be long term. So what does that look like? If you want to build, say, trust in a relationship after being broken, consistency is so important. And I've walked the journey back to wholeness with a lot of couples after breakups of different kinds, mainly infidelity or some version of it. And consistency is the key to it, and consistency is also the biggest challenge. How do you maintain consistency? And I think that comes from your heart. If you are sincere about wanting to do something, then being consistent is a lot easier versus not wanting to do it and being forced to do it by a therapist or your spouse demanding that you do something different. If it doesn't, if your heart isn't in it, it's hard to be consistent. So sometimes we have to take a step back and really allow ourselves to examine our hearts. Allow God to examine your heart to see if your heart is in it. Right? If you're doing something to improve your relationship just because your spouse is demanding it and you really don't want to do it, but they are making you do it and you are just doing it because they said it, it's going to be hard to be consistent. It's always hard to be consistent when someone else is making you. It's not your decision to do it. But being consistent requires us to surrender our will a lot of times, surrender what we want and accept what somebody else wants, or accept that it's something for the greater good or for the family. There's a bigger purpose behind it. Like these videos, I'm doing them for the 9-week challenge, but these videos, as God has just reminded me, are for other people to be healed, other people to be informed and delivered. They're for other people and to help. They're not for me. They're not for me. But my calling is to help people to do better and be better and live their best life and find their purpose and do God's will. Be sons and daughters of God and walk in your power and walk in your purpose. That's what my calling is, to help us get to that level. It's not for me to be famous or to be put on or to be popular. It's not for me. It's for you. So I have to recommit daily to this consistency. So what happens? Once the 9 weeks is up, what happens? We'll see. I think I'm on to something now. During the 9 weeks, Sometimes you'll find that thing, find that light that gives you the heart to go behind the effort so the consistency will be easy. I think I found the light. And I hope you find your light, the thing that makes you want to be consistent. Okay? It's Sophia, the therapist. I see you next time, good Lord willing, and the creek don't rise.